All right, welcome everyone. My name is Ken and I'm here to walk you through a little foam rolling today. Today we're going to take a look at the chest and the back. All right, so we have our foam rollers here. Again, as we've stated in the past, foam rollers come in 3-foot sections, 1-foot sections, and sometimes you'll even get the midway through the 2-foot section. So a couple different versions of the foam rollers. Usually the blacker, the darker foam rollers will be the high density foam roller, and the white ones, you'll see white and they're a little more squishy. Those will be what we call low density foam rollers. So those are a little more squishy, a little bit more for the novice user, if you will, or the beginner user. Also, I wanted to point out today, we're going to be doing some chest. And when we roll the chest with the foam roller, there will be a little bit of challenge using the foam roller on the ground or on a wall, something that could make a big difference. This little thing right here, it's called a lacrosse ball. You can get it at any sporting goods stores, even online, pretty cheap. This makes a very good chest roller. All right, so this is something that we could really use a lot more effectively to roll the chest. We're not going to use it today because we are doing foam rolling, but I just wanted to give you guys that heads up that that's something we could do. So we're going to show you a couple different ways to roll the chest first. We'll start right with that. The first way, since I'm standing, will be on the wall. If you have a wall to use, that's great. If you don't, we'll come down to the ground in just a second. All right, but the wall version, what you're going to do is almost like when we did the legs, you want it to be the opposite of the muscle so that it runs along the striations of the muscle. So we would go, if I'm going to roll my right chest, we want the foam roller to be pointing towards my right shoulder blade. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it just under the pectoral, and I'm going to step back with the leg, and I'm just going to walk and roll right into that. Now, I can also roll the opposite way as well with the pectoral because it's got striations coming both ways. But we're going to try to get that good motion. We kind of have to move the head out of the way to roll that chest against the wall. Now, let's take that same principle if the wall's not an option, and let's go ahead and bring that down to the ground. So in this case, what I like to do is bring the hand over top of the foam roller, lay the chest over, and then using my body, I'm going to stay up on my knees. I'm not going to try to lay flat because it's harder for me to move back and forth. So let me try to give you guys a view from this way. So I'm going to come up on the knees, and this will allow me to roll along that chest a little bit better. So when on the ground, the foam roller is going to be straight, and we're going to lay on that angle. So I'm going to lay right with my chest muscle, right at the top of the pectoral, and then I'm just going to use my body, my hands basically, and I'm up on my knees to shift back and forth. Now I'm not like way up on my knees like this. I'm bringing the knees back enough that I can control this, because if I'm laying flat here, I can't really control this. Now, laying flat, I can lay over the foam roller and just kind of let it sit on there, and I can get that compression on my chest, but it's going to be a lot more effective if I can roll it, hence the foam rolling. Now, another thing that you can do on the chest is turn it the opposite way, lay on the chest this way, and this is the way I can keep my arm straight. Now, this is going to get more of the front shoulder part, the insertion of the chest, but it's still a proper part of rolling that chest. Good. Now we spent a lot of time on that right side. Let's go ahead and try the left side. Try the version that you like the best. All right. So there's a few versions out there. Obviously, we've talked about in the wall, going straight on, going on an angle. The beauty of foam rolling is we're trying to roll on tissue. So as long as we're not rolling on the bone, we're not going to hurt anything. We're not going to really screw it up, if you will, or you're not going to get it wrong. You're going to roll on some tissue, and it's going to open up that fascia. We have fascia everywhere on our body. The only thing we want to really avoid is major rolling on the bone areas. All right, and there's not really a lot of concern with that here. You may get into the sternum a little bit, but again, the pectoral muscles are such a big muscle of our chest that it's hard to really get into that sternum. And again, don't be afraid to just lay on it. I'm doing both here. I'm rolling the striations of the muscle, as well as this would be considered going against the muscle striations. Where do you feel that, like, kind of tight tissue? Where do you feel that kicking in? Good roll of the chest. Excellent. So again, if you have the ability to go get that lacrosse ball, or even tennis ball is another version for that beginner level, I do highly recommend that if you're using the wall with a ball. Well, last time I'll talk about the ball with this one, but you can put the chest right against, and you can actually roll against that wall to make that a little bit more extreme as far as the foam rolling goes. But I do like using, for the chest, I like using the lacrosse ball. You can get away with the foam roller just fine, but I do prefer that lacrosse ball. All right, let's move on to the back, okay? So when we're talking about the back, we're gonna do a couple different things on the back. We're gonna do the foam roller across, and then we're gonna do the foam roller with our back. First one we wanna do is working out the upper to mid back to upper back. So you want to be able to lay down so that you go right about mid back. All right, so the shoulders are still exposed. You feel pretty comfortable there. From here, we're going to, we call bridge up, right? So we're going to bridge up with our feet. And so our booties are off the ground now. And the next thing we're going to do is I want you to just put your hands behind your head, and then I want you to take one little step forward with your feet, extend out, and then you're going to roll. You're basically going to bring your butt towards your heels so that you roll to the top or bottom of the neck, top of the shoulders, and then you're going to move your butt away from your feet so you get to the mid back, just like that. So rolling back and forth. Perfect. Good. So back and forth, mid back, upper back. Good. Now that we have that stream going, we're going to do a few more rolls here, and then we're going to transition to the shoulders, the back of the shoulders, if you will. So the shoulder blades. So what I want you to do now, we've done a few of these. I want you to extend your left hand straight behind you so that it's right next to the ear, and then I want you to just lean over on that shoulder blade, and you'll feel the lat right here. You'll feel that good roll. Now, if this is a little much, you can put the butt down, put the butt down. You can make it a little easier. Good. If not, enjoy that roll on that shoulder blade. Good. You could even, if we wanted to get into the lat a little bit more, here's a good lat roll. So you would shift all the way over, straighten your front leg, your arms still straight out. This leg is our pivot. This is our strength point. So we push up on that and we roll on that lat. Put a couple in there and you'll feel where there's some tenderness in there. Excellent. Let's go ahead and shift over now. Let's get to the other side. So a couple rolls on that shoulder blade. You'll definitely feel that in. Let's go ahead and get that lat. I'm just gonna, you'll find yourself moving a little bit. That's totally okay, that happens. So I'm gonna get into that lat now. So straighten out one leg and just rolling over. And you'll feel that lat, but the real tenderness may be in the serratus muscles, which are behind in the back rib cage area. Those are really important muscles for pulling. Excellent. All right, so let's do one more time in this mid-back. I want to show you a variation. So we're going to come on that mid-back again. Now, hands are still behind the head, right, like they were before. And what I want to do is I want to tighten the elbows so that the elbows are almost touching each other. And I want you to do that roll again. You'll feel a little bit different. And then I want you to kind of lean on your left. What we're doing is we're pulling in our shoulder blades. Good. And so we're basically isolating some different muscle tissue. We protract those shoulder blades, and then we retract the shoulder blades, and we feel a little bit different. So pull them back in one more time. Feel that good roll. You can turn from side to side. Feel where those tender spots are. Good. And then open it back up one more time. Excellent job, folks. Good. Go ahead and come back from there. Rest it down. Let that head just relax over the foam roller. Now we're going to do a little bit of a neck one here. It's part of the back, but we want to have the neck lay on the foam roller. Hands are out to the side. We've used the neck a lot, right? Trying to have it propped up and all that good stuff. So from here, let's go ahead and roll to the right and roll to the left. Now you're really trying to apply pressure. So you can even take the hands, apply just a little bit of pressure, and you feel that good neck roll. Good. And this is just to keep that head and neck nice and loose, same tissue, and then just let it sit there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's go ahead and come up from there. I want to show you the other version of the back. So if you have a shorter foam roller, when we were doing this foam roller, you would obviously have to do side and side. The 2-footer and the 1-footer would cover most of the back, but you may have to do side to side. Same with this next one. You may have to put it in select positions, and I'll show you that once I finish with this one. But what we want to do, if you have the longer foam roller, you're going to start by sitting on it. If you don't have the longer foam roller, you're going to place it somewhere in the mid-back to upper back. And what you want to do is make sure that it's touching the head and going to your upper back in the beginning. If not, and then we'll move it down to the mid-back, then we'll move it down to the tailbone, and I'll show you guys that in a second. If you have the longer one, though, we're on that full foam roller here. Now, the beauty of this one is all we need to do is roll it over on the right, use our hands and feet to stabilize us, and then come over, roll it on the left. Some of you might get some back cracking. That's completely normal. This is rolling over the spine, and it does force a little bit of adjustment correction, I should say. Never gonna hurt to get a little bit of that. You may feel, as you're rolling over those shoulder blades, you feel a little knot, a little pop, if you will. That's okay. So we're just going back and forth. If you feel that little pop, you can kind of do some small rolls on it. So if I find one right here, you can see I can just do a couple little rolls. I'm not going as far. I'm trying to find that little spot. Good. And if you're having on the big foam roller, go ahead and keep going. I want to show you guys that if you have the small foam roller, what I was referring to. So if I had the small foam roller, I'm gonna start it. I would start it behind the back. So the best way to do that is right here, and then I would prop myself up and just rolling back and forth. Same thing, I just don't have the foam roller going completely over. And you find those spots on that upper back. And then what you try to do is you try to just walk your body up a little bit so that you're a little further on the foam roller, not the ball. And then you just walk your feet again, slide up on that foam roller. So you would just keep moving your body on the smaller foam roller to roll that back. Excellent job. So we did a couple different variations. We did that chest. We rolled across the striations of the chest, and we rolled with the striations of the chest. Then we did the back. Really nice to open up that upper back a lot. That's one of my favorite things, is to roll on that foam roller and then bring that foam roller along the spine. You're not going to hurt the spine here. Your muscles are big enough and the foam roller is soft enough that when you go over it, we're not going to hurt anything there. 2 big stretches as we finish this out. First one is that back stretch, roll forward. Now, if you have a doorway stretches are great, or something to hold on to. You could do the opposite, where you're pulling and holding on to something to stretch those big big back muscles. Same thing with doorway stretches. Open up the chest, or other version is to pull this back, stretch that chest out. Whenever we foam roll, it's really good to stretch afterwards because we've loosened that tissue. So let's go ahead and stretch that tissue out. Foam rolling can be beneficial before or after a workout. It can be used both. There is no real perfect timing for it. The best time is when you're a little sore, a little tight. That's the best time to do foam rolling. But if you consistently do foam rolling, we should avoid all of those tight, sore muscles. All right. Thank you so much for joining me for a little foam rolling on the chest and back. Next week, we'll take on another muscle group. But for now, have a good one, everybody. Hope you enjoy the little foam rolling. Enjoy the rest of your day.